Yes, 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 yes.
Hello.
Hello. All right.
Can you hear me pretty well?
Loud and clear. You're good.
Okay, excellent. I'm on speakerphone right now, just for because it's more comfortable. But
Okay.
if you can hear me well enough,
Yeah.
then
No.
great. If not, I can.
Uh oh. Yeah. Hopefully, I don't echo. Sometimes that ends up happening too. So if I.
Actually, I don't know if I can. Actually, I think I have to be because it automatically. I just realized this is like talking on the phone, but we're not on the phone.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, no, it's actually not giving me the option to not be on speaker, but you can hear
Yeah.
me, so that's
Yeah. Yeah.
not an
Yeah.
issue. Cool.
Yeah. 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 You should be. Yeah. I think you should be okay. Um. Yeah. So. You know what it is. Where's my damn podcast? Thank you for tuning in. Just want to say what's up to all the people out there. Thank you. I appreciate you for listening. Shouts out to Anchor, my one and only sponsor. But yeah, if you want to sponsor me, you're more than welcome. So I need more sponsors, y'all. Yeah. Um, Anyway, I got a very special guest on the line. We're gonna get into it in a sec here, but like I said, where's my damn podcast? Be sure to share, like, subscribe, review it, thumbs up, thumbs down. Hey, just do what you got to do. However you guys do it on the internet, you know. Um, but yeah, we're gonna get fucking into it. We're not gonna waste any time. She's all the way from the East Coast. She's gonna break it down for us. I'd like to welcome you on the line right now, Dani Riedel.
Thank you so much. How are you, Elvin?
I'm good. I'm good.
Good. Always
Yeah,
good to hear your voice.
Oh, thank you, thank you. Yeah, glad you made it. This is pretty cool. I'm glad that I'm excited to have you on and stuff.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited to be here. I love that. And this is going to sound really cliche at this point, but I love that. Like, I know you, and you live on the other side of the country, and this is one of those little pieces of the silver lining, I guess.
Right, right. With a Zoom comedy, right? You
Yep.
know,
Yeah.
with the whole networking process. Yeah, I've had other comedians on the podcast, and we kind of echoed the same thoughts. You know, it's kind of, if it wasn't for Zoom, you know, we wouldn't have like met each other in like in some weird way. You know, we would have been just back to our original. So-called little area of pockets of area of comedy.
Yeah. Yeah. I not that I mean, I love my little Philadelphia comedy bubble and everyone in it.
Yeah,
But I love everyone in my much bigger comedy bubble through Zoom.
yeah.
So
Oh man, it's pretty cool. Like I said, it's that whole networking process. Like, because you know, I've said this many times before on the podcast and to other comedians. If things do open up again, we have places to go to, people to contact, and
yeah.
if you're in a nearby area, I can contact so and so in Seattle, so and so in Chicago, and you over there in Philadelphia, to be exact. Someone like Joe Gorman in New York, Ralph Anthony, just to name a few.
Yeah.
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 Um, but yeah, let's break it down. Like how you got started in comedy, because I before you get to that, I believe I've seen you on the Zoom, um, like sometime last year. I don't know when was the first time, but I just remember seeing you on one of the blue mics. were you on that one? Jolie's blue mic.
Oh, I love the Blue Mic. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm like a Blue Mic charter member. I think there have been 37 Blue Mics now. I think I've missed two the whole time.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah.
dedication right there. But yeah, no, I think I might have seen you on there, met you on there, that kind of thing. And man, you're funny, hilarious. So
Thank you.
that's why I wanted to kind of bring you on. And then we actually we were on the whole Dat fan audition and a
Yes.
couple of shows. So that was kind of cool to kind of do that as well. But yeah, let's break it down for the people. How you got started and like kind of your influences, if you had any.
Yeah, totally. So I probably have a little bit of a cliche, like how I got started in Comedy Story. So I'm in recovery. Been in recovery since August 2019, and I right after getting sober for this was the second time because because I like alcohol and
Hmm.
everybody relapses. It happens, whatever. But so I got sober for the second time and just thought to myself, like, I must have an outlet, and all I have from all of these experiences are some great stories, and kind of the only way I can live with myself for some of them is if I laugh at it. And I took a comedy class with Chip Chantry at Helium, and it was so cool. I probably got more valuable career knowledge from that than I did in 4 years of college. But and one cost more than the other too. But I kind of looked at Helium Comedy Academy as like, you know what, this is me going to graduate school, and I've never looked back. And
Hmm.
I have managed to, use the anger and the heartache that goes along with the whole addiction, sobriety, yada yada yada, and just redirect it, make it funny, talk about what a badass my liver is for surviving all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think one of my influences is definitely Carrie Fisher. Have you seen her special Wishful Drinking?
No, I don't believe I have. I should check that out.
She does a bit where she just basically like connects all of the members of her family in Hollywood as like a complex and really hilarious demonstration of sort of how incestuous Hollywood can be. And and then the story moves into her explaining all this to her actual daughter, and her daughter laughing about it. And then she says to her daughter, you know what, if you can laugh at that already, you're going to be okay.
Yeah, yeah.
And that just, I mean, as a performer, I adore her, but the sentiment there is just sort of the life advice that has kept me going.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Yeah. So 29. So you said 2019, right? What was that your first mic as well? Like at the Helium?
Yeah, so I started taking the class and just mostly.
Mm. Yep. Oh. Uh, you're listening to Where's My Damn Podcast? That's right. We're here with Dani Riedel. Um, yeah. Check 1 2. Let's see if we can get her back on the line. Um, yeah. where?
I'm
There you
here.
go.
Can you hear me?
There you. Yeah, there you go. I got you.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. I'm not sure what happened.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I don't.
Um.
Do you remember the last thing I said?
I, oh, yeah. Yeah. I think like your first mic.
Oh,
You were taking a class at the Helium.
yeah, yeah. So the classes were great. It was there were like 10 of us performing for each other as we were learning. So it was like really kind of, Socratic method of learning comedy. And then I I went to my very first like actual open mic and performed for like actual strangers soon after that. And that was in I guess September 2019. And that was at a little place called the Raven Lounge, which is right here in Center City, Philadelphia. And it is just
Hmm.
the like coolest, like most punk rock little bar with this comedy room. And I miss everything about that place. And I from there I basically found every open mic in Philadelphia that was like that I could walk to and just started the grind.
Yeah, yeah. And that's pretty much as far as what it takes to kind of progress or succeed in this business. You got to grind. You got to go out there. You got to travel. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, if people was to, let's say someone start comedy right now, if a youngster was to come up to me and say, I want to do comedy, you got to hit the mics.
Yeah, just be
You-
funny and be nice to people.
oh yeah, oh yeah. Don't be an asshole.
Yeah, yeah. That's it. That's all you do. Just be, write a lot, tell jokes, perform, practice, and don't be a dick. That's it. Just
Yeah. And okay, so you did your first mic at the Raven. How is the comedy scene there in Philadelphia overall? Like, what's your impression of it? Is it alive and well? Is it prospering? Is it dying out, or what is it?
so there. I mean, it's before the pandemic. It was just very very alive. It's multiple things to do, whether it's shows, mics, etc., every night. And then uh, pandemic hit, and like a couple of the local mics that were attended by like the same circle of people went virtual for a little while. Some have started opening back up over the summer. We did stand up comedy on the steps outside of the Raven Lounge in the summer, just for the passersby, and that was sort of the most like, again, it was very like just just ultimate like indie comedy thing to do. It was so cool. And
Right.
people just start doing crowd work with strangers, and I had an absolute blast. So there's definitely a lot of effort to keep it alive, but at this point in the winter, there's some people who are, traveling out of state or out to the suburbs, because there are fewer restrictions. So Philadelphia
Hmm.
has this, and for good reason. I mean, with the how many people live in Philadelphia, has stricter restrictions than just outside of Philadelphia in like a sparsely populated suburb. So people are traveling out, to bars out there or in Jersey, Delaware. And I'm glad, because I'm not I'm not someone to take the risk of COVID exposure, but if people want to do that and it ends up that kind of keeps live comedy around,
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
obviously no judgment to that is a noble cause.
Yeah. You know what? Yeah, like over here where I'm at, I'm in Stockton, so um, I'm right next to. We're about 40-45 minutes away from Sacramento, uh, and a little over an hour from the Bay Area, and like yeah, some people are still over the summer. Some people were still doing, outdoor shows, drive-ins,
Yeah.
I even did like they had parking lots. We were doing comedy in the parking
Yep.
lots.
Yep.
The park, we were doing the park as well. And I mean, obviously it's each to its own, but um like for me personally, like anytime I've gone now, uh like I would, take the necessary precaution. I'll bring my mask and stuff, hand sanitizer, that kind of thing. And there are those, I'm not gonna name any names, but like, it's just like, not following the guidelines, so to speak.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but but it's, yeah, I mean, comedy's still happening, and like in, secret locations,
Oh, there's
and
that too. Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
so
there's like
um
there's I haven't ventured there, but I know there's some mics around here where you just kind of got to like text someone and get the password, kind of thing.
yeah.
Probably. I mean, but most people around here really, care, and if they are going out and doing anything, they're being respectful and masking up. And I have not seen any like just outright recklessness, not in the comedy community anyway, for
Mhm.
sure. But it's
Yeah.
funny to think about um all the outdoor stuff we did, and all the kind of like how funny it sounds to talk about it after the fact. Like you're like we did stand-up comedy in the park. I'm like, we did stand-up comedy on a stoop and for people on the sidewalk. Like, and I just feel
Yeah.
like I think both of us don't have children, but if we did, I feel like I'd be this old lady being like, I lived through the pandemic and we had to do stand-up comedy on the sidewalk.
Rooftops,
Yeah.
basements,
Yeah.
all this crazy stuff. Um, but yeah, man, the thing too is I think a lot of times, people, and on the businesses as well, like, there are, the business are following the guidelines, from the ones I've been to, and then, and and other stuff too. But for the most part, yeah, they've been, doing their thing, like, they're following, the rules and stuff. So, and that's a good thing to, you know it lets the comic that, oh, okay, then if I go there, then I'm good. Everything's taken care of.
Yeah, there's definitely places that I know, like I would trust more than others to handle things. But when the numbers started going up a couple months ago, I just kind of said to myself, it's not worth the anxiety of going to an open mic
Yeah.
and then worrying for the next 2 weeks, like, did I get it or not? And I I,
Yeah.
I just I it breaks my heart because I they're doing it to the best extent that they can. But unfortunately, like some smaller places will have, they'll let audience members in to a certain capacity, and then the comedians will just wait outside until it's their turn to go on, because
Hmm.
they're only allowed to have like 25% capacity. And
Yeah.
I'm just like, I
Yeah.
just don't think that's worth. It's certainly not actually getting the coronavirus, but even if I don't, it's just I ultimately just made the heartbreaking decision that it's just not worth spending the next 2 weeks worrying about it.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. No, that's what's up. So, like in Philadelphia, you mentioned, walking to certain, bars or clubs, as far as, comedy is concerned. Do you Is there a lot of them, like comedy clubs in Philadelphia? I'm not, obviously I'm not familiar with, Philadelphia, other than, the Liberty Bell, and,
Yeah.
Philly cheesesteak. But yeah, but
Yeah.
is there a lot of mics, to go to
Yeah.
throughout
Oh
the
my
week?
goodness. Yeah. So and even I don't drive because because for the same reason people living in like downtown Manhattan don't drive a car. It's just like
Hmm.
there's nowhere to park it, and the traffic is so bad you can get anywhere you need to go faster if you just walk there. So, um,
Yeah.
and there are enough mics. Or shows or something going on. But so Tuesday nights, I remember, were like a big night, and people would go from like one mic to another to another. And I think there were a total of 3 or 4 that happened on Tuesdays, and everyone made an
Nice.
effort to to like hit all of them if they could, or at least like 2 or 3. And oh man, I had been bartending before restaurants had to close, and there were a few places that I just walked to inside of 10 minutes after a bar shift, because everything was so late here too. Like a lot of the mics would start at 10 p.m. or later.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
I now it kind of makes me laugh when people are ending, a mic is ending at like midnight, and people are like, "Oh, it's so late." I'm like, baby.
Yeah. 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 No, out here, it's interesting, because like living in Stockton, where I'm at, I'm like we're like smack dab in the middle of Sacramento and the Bay Area. You can go either way, and the crazy thing with Stockton, prior prior to the pandemic, we had our little scene. There was a bunch of us that were starting to really hit our stride as far as doing mics and stuff, and then we ended up hosting mics throughout the week. um so at one point there was like 4 or 5 mics you can hit throughout the week. But Stockton, it's a small market area. There's really not a lot of as far as what's going on here. So you kind of have to go out of town, like the big cities,
Yeah.
to hit the mics, and that's kind of our problem. So when we were starting or doing the mics in town, that we're hell yeah, we were excited. A lot of the guys that were doing comedy, obviously, but to go elsewhere, yeah, we had to travel. And then um so let's say if you want to hit a mic like 7 or 8, you got to leave obviously a little bit earlier. And then if you want to hit multiple mics, yeah, you probably end up going home by like 12, 1 in the morning, or 2 or something.
Yeah, I can't remember like the last time I left a mic before 2. I maybe we're just on I don't know what, we're on some kind of comedian vampire nocturnal time, because then there's also these like private after hours clubs. There's like one in a theater and another one. I'm sadly not a member because I am an alcoholic and I'm not going to drink the alcohol. But I mean, people go to mics and then just hang out until 5 or whatever. It just
Oh yeah,
because
you have
yeah,
that too. Yeah, I forgot about that.
yeah,
Yeah,
like most of us don't have conventional day jobs, and why not?
yeah. And broke.
Well, yeah, there's that. There's
Oh
that.
man. Oh man, it's a struggle. I mean, nonetheless, it's definitely a struggle. But no, comedy. It's been fun. I've enjoyed it. Like for me, I started in 2018, so still fairly new, still learning, and but I love it. I love it. It's a lot of fun.
It's the most perfect art form in some ways, because it combines. So I'm a writer primarily.
Hmm.
That was sort of my main career uh, ambition. Well, I guess technically, it was my career. I just wasn't doing very well at it financially. But so yeah, so that was basically,
like writing books, that kind of
yeah.
thing.
So I have a novel
Oh
published.
no.
It's called Smile and
Ah.
Walk Away. My publisher
Okay.
is called Champagne Book Group. It's an indie publisher on the West Coast, and it's available in paperback and all the ebook formats. So you can get, Nook, Barnes and Noble, you can get it, Kobo, and of course Amazon, obviously, and or you can order it directly from a publisher. But it's that's something that was a passion for a long time, and I still want to continue to do. But it wasn't. I'll just put it this way: I expected to make more money.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, because it's one of those things. It's where like you get good reviews and people read the book and they like it, but just the way the money trickles down, and with as many people as are buying ebooks now for like $2.99 instead of a paperback for $12.99, I thought I'd make more money. So it's
Yeah,
almost
yeah.
like I said one day, what can I do now to make even less money? Stand up comedy. But
Yeah.
now I did do a lot of theater years ago when I
Mhm.
lived in the suburbs. Not so much now, because in the city everything's union, and that it was sort of more of a hobby, kind of like mental health activity for me. But I love doing theater, and I've missed that. And obviously I love writing, and comedy combines, the thing I did for fun with the thing I love doing that's work. And it's actually working out better for me than I expected virtually.
Mhm.
Without I was nervous without the opportunity to practice on a stage, because like, I mean, we all know, like, you just need that stage time. Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And just I finally think I found how to like really just mimic that, and it's involves really using my imagination, but you have to adapt and evolve, or it's just not or there's
Yeah.
nothing.
No, yeah, no, you nailed it on the head, because I kind of was talking to somebody the other day about that exact same thing. And also I ended up having Nico on the
Oh,
podcast,
cool.
and yeah, we were kind of, or he was kind of saying, it's, man, it's a good time right now to take advantage of the situation. pr- Pretty much,
Totally.
um like, as far as Zoom comedy, like, why not? Why not? I mean, it's not, obviously not, live comedy, but it's the second best option.
And the connections,
Yeah.
are going to lead to things like you were saying before. I cannot wait until hopefully we can all get vaccinated. Hopefully people start listening to science and everything goes well. And I can't
Yeah, yeah.
wait to travel and meet all the people I have met on Zoom. Like, I have so many people I consider close friends now who I've never met in person, who I've never hugged, I've never shaken hands with. It's like,
Right.
and everyone has kind of said to each other, like, hey, if you're ever in LA, if you're ever in Tucson, if you're ever in Dallas, like
Yeah.
we'll get you on stage. And I kind of want to like do something like rent an RV and just go from city to city where I've met people doing Zoom comedy.
You know what? You better do it quick, because I think someone's already probably thinking about
Yeah, I mean,
that.
if somebody taking risks wants to beat me to the idea, they can go for it. But I'm telling you, as soon as I get that second shot in my arm,
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you had the first shot?
oh no.
Oh, okay, okay.
I'm pretty much like last on the list. Like, you put your name in a registry through the city government here, and it kind of tells you like an estimation of what number you are based on
Yeah.
your risk level, your job, your age,
Mm.
etc. And being
Kind of the
a,
protocol.
a
Yeah, the protocol.
yeah, like a 38-year-old with no with no pre-existing conditions, working from home. I'm number like 8,003,012
Right.
or something.
Like, get to me when you can get to me, I
But I
guess.
wish they would kind of I wish it could be like a Santa Claus system, right? Like, I have been good all year.
Oh
And
yeah, right. No, that's a
yeah,
good point.
right? And like the people who are being bad and going to there's nightclubs open that aren't allowed to be open, and somebody's in somebody's pocket and they're looking the other way. But the people who are like going out dancing without masks and making out with strangers during a pandemic, like, I get it. Like, we all miss making out with strangers, but like for fuck's sake, like, just, you know, there's a reason.
Calm down your
Yeah,
hormones.
and it's like, it's a lot of people who are, they're in their 20s, and I get it. Like, I really do. It wasn't that long ago I was in my 20s. Like, I get it. And but they think because they're going to be asymptomatic, or they're not at high risk, or they think blah blah blah, and they don't realize that they're just like carriers.
Hmm.
And I feel like
And that,
they're on the naughty list, right?
yeah, yeah. And then well, that so-called invisibility complex, like I'm not gonna get it. I'm invisible, So.
Or yeah, people like rely on herd immunity, and then that's
Hmm.
it's pretty scary.
Yeah.
But if at least I know, like, if I get it, I can't control what other people are gonna do, unfortunately, or
Yeah.
they'd all
Yeah.
get all kinds of vaccines. Like, yeah, if people, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm sort of my like people who worry about XYZ side effects of vaccines. I'm just like, okay, everything you just said is preferable to polio. So,
Yeah.
so yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, man. It's out there. I mean, like, it's shoot, like, if it's available, I am for sure uh will take it. My wife works in the care home facility, so she actually ended up taking it.
Oh, good.
So, and a lot of my family members that did or worked in that field ended up taking it. So, if they took it, like, oh, okay, then I should be able to
Well,
take
that's
it and
that's
stuff.
awesome, if working in that field, if she was able to get it, because that would be really scary to me, just not being
Yeah.
able to help.
Well, it's it's an area where it's a high risk where who knows who has it. It could be the residents of the patients. Like
Yeah,
hospitals, it's kind of the same thing. Like, there's always something floating around. So yeah,
it's
like, so
impossible to, yeah, yeah. So I mean, if
um
I have to stay locked in the house for a little while for the greater good, I'll do it. That's fine.
bam, there she go. There it is. She's holding
Yep.
down.
Yep.
um yeah, you mentioned earlier about like, just kind of meeting everyone after once this dies down, and stuff. Someone brought up or posted on this displacement comedians Facebook group that there should be a convention that we can all meet
Hey,
up. I don't know if you've seen that one, but yeah, I
I have
saw that.
not seen that, but that would be amazing. That would be,
You're right. That'd
yeah,
be
yeah.
interesting. Yeah.
Ooh.
And there's like I think now like over 5,000
And
members.
all
So
around the world. I
uh
mean, like, literally all around the world.
yeah.
Like, I have a friend in Romania. It's so freaking cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, fucking it's international. I mean, there, Canada, Australia,
Israel,
yeah,
Finland.
UK.
I've met people. Yeah.
Yeah. um what was the other one? Malaysia,
Yeah,
Juliana
we got
Hang.
Malaysia.
Yeah, Malaysia.
We got a couple in
But
Australia, I think. Uh,
yeah.
and yeah, I think Romania and Finland are like are the most geographically spread out that people I've met. But it's so cool.
Uh huh.
Like
Yeah.
I would never have met. The, I don't live all that far from DC, for example, and I have now I there's at least like 3 or 4 comics who I work with regularly and talk to regularly, just in DC. And even at that distance, in real life, I never would. I say that like Zoom isn't real life, but like in
Yeah.
person life, um, and I never would have met even those people who aren't all that far away.
Right. You know that so interesting about the East Coast is that you're right there in Pennsylvania and like like New York, New Jersey. You mentioned D.C. Those places are not really that far off, right?
No, like so
Like,
I went to college in New York, and to get back to Philly, it was maybe like an hour and a half to 2 hour drive, or like 3 hours on uh on the local trains if you wanted to be cheap about it. But
mhm.
not far at all. Like there's a I like that there's a kind of a cluster of cities out here.
Yeah, like Boston. How far is
Oh,
Boston from you?
Boston. So um I used to, before, um well, actually before and even after I got my book published, I every year I would go to a writing conference in Boston. And one
Hmm.
one time I drove, and it took 8 hours, but that was Manhattan's fault. um but another year I flew, and it took half an hour.
Hmm. Wow,
So yeah,
that's pretty
yeah, and
fast.
I mean to fly, I mean I wouldn't fly like right now. And another year I took the train, and that was maybe 5 hours. But not bad. Like, not Boston is definitely like not prohibitively far. Um,
Hmm.
there's and there's a lot of smaller scenes in smaller cities. There's
Yeah.
a lot that I didn't have like time to explore before before stupid freaking COVID.
Yeah.
But
um. So I know we talked about Zoom and stuff. When did you start doing Zoom? Uh, official.
almost right away, actually. So there was there's an open mic called Sucks, which stands for Stand Up Comedy Sundays, that took place at Fergie's Pub in Center City, Philadelphia. And the like totally awesome crew of that Mike put it on Zoom and streamed it on Facebook. And they did that basically like from the get-go. And that was
Hmm.
for
Okay.
a little while, that was the only Zoom mic that I was aware of. And it was really popular. I mean, because I mean, it was a popular mic, it, on Sunday nights in person too. So, we got all the same people. And then one day I got a suggestion on Facebook, like, you should join Displaced Comedians. And then it was like,
Mm.
oh my God, this is so cool. Like, and I just started signing up for mics, here and there, and then
Yeah.
more and more of them. And it was really, I'd love to hear about how this was for you, but for me, it was an evolution of, I started out just doing, and it was one of those mics where you do, it's a 3 minutes. It's you get 40 people signing up. It's a 3 minute mic, that's it. So I was started out doing 3 minutes, just just looking at my computer screen in my living room with my messy house and my cats in the background going nuts. And over time, I guess I kind of accepted the permanence of this, and and uh and went from that to I do my best to put on a like a very comedy special like presentation. I try to act things out like I would if I was on stage, and if I just use my imagination and put myself on a stage while I'm doing it, the jokes just come out better because I get to move and hold a microphone in my hand. And
There you go. I mean, you know what? That's why, like, uh, w- if you remember, we were in the that band's audition,
I think,
or it had to be either that one
yeah,
or one
I
of the
think we did
shows that we
two
did.
shows
But
together with him.
yeah, and that's because he brought up the fact that, oh, look at Danny's background. That's how you want it to be. Uh, all these networks are gonna look at that. And then I was like, that caught my attention. No, I'm a blind comedian, and you've seen me on the different Zoom rooms and stuff, and I'll talk about that in my act. But even though I'm a blind comedian, I'm or I mean just a blind individual. I'm not one of those person or blind people that you know I'll be just stuck to that whole stereotype of just being a blind person. Everything blind this, blind that. That's not me. Like even though that's the case, I'm blind, obviously. But I I think outside the box,
Yeah.
or try to at least. And that's why, like when that fan said that, I was like, oh shit, I gotta hit up Danny Riedel about that. Like I think I ended up doing that the next day, and then you gave me some tips on it as far as like
The green,
the background
the
green
lighting and stuff.
screen, and yeah, lighting. And so I pay attention to that kind of thing, because if that fan's saying that kind of thing, if he's saying that stuff, then that lets me know that, okay, this is the next step. I got, this is how I'm gonna be successful, or to at least make it in this comedy game. So yeah, I pay attention to that kind of thing. So even though I'm blind, it just it made me aware of things like that, to where maybe some people maybe
I mean,
ignored.
I
So
honestly,
yeah.
I kind of ignored it for the longest time because when you go to live mics or shows, you don't have to worry about the lighting. In fact, if you tried to mess with the lighting, like you would get yelled at, and like, and
Uh-huh.
the comedians aren't responsible for the audio setup, or I mean, we literally just go and perform. So it's nothing. I mean, it's nothing I ever had to think about before. Uh, so
Yeah, yeah, no, definitely understandable as far as that standpoint. We're comedians. As far as live comedy, yeah, we do show up, and that's all we're asked for. I mean, as far as the sound system, that's on either the DJ or
yeah,
the club owner,
yeah, the stage
bar
is
owner.
set. We just do
But
our thing, and so that was me adapting and evolving. Just and you just got to get creative with it. I feel like I none of us that I know of are have a whole lot of disposable money, and just screwing
mhm.
around with a few things here and there, I was able to figure out something that works for me. And have you ever tried like standing up and pretending you're on a stage?
You know what? I haven't done that. Maybe I
It could just be
should.
psychological,
I
but
just gotta.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely open to it. So I just gotta figure out certain things. and see what works. But definitely, I'll be open to that. But you mentioned adapting and the evolution, like starting out and then until now. Like when I started out like kind of late, so to speak. I started out in the summer with the whole Zoom thing, and yeah, like you said, the evolution. You know, uh, when I think I did my one or two mics in, I guess. Like, um, I had my screen upside down or sideways. Now, I obviously I can't see it, but somebody noticed it, and somebody cracked a joke about it or whatever, which is fine. I ain't tripping, but but somebody actually thought it was
Oh,
a
they thought it
bit.
was intentional.
Like I
Oh,
yeah.
well, so now you could do that. I mean,
Yeah,
that could actually
yeah,
be really funny.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right, and so like you were saying, the evolution. Like I started out, I didn't even have a tripod in the beginning. I had to like sit it down somewhere. I ended up doing one of the zooms, like, or a couple times, like in the backyard, the back patio, like just like
Oh,
the porch
okay. Yeah,
light
yeah.
on, and it was just so just trying to get used to everything. I was new, and then once I figured out everything, like, oh, okay, camera angle, I need a tripod, I gotta be in the
Yeah,
frame,
and it looks great right now. Like
so
the last couple times I've
um
seen you, you were lit really well, and you were like the placement was just right from what I remember. You know what it makes me think
yeah,
of
yeah.
is like is like as infrastructure evolves, uh other technologies will evolve as well, and then that's where people absolutely need to adapt to the changes. So like when vehicles first started being a thing, and they started building paved roads for cars, people were so used to riding
Hmm.
horses on dirt roads that they were resistant to the roads because that was cars are this new thing and that they don't want to get used to. They're comfortable on the horse on the dirt road, but eventually the
Hmm.
infrastructure went so far in the direction of the automobile that people were just kind of forced to adapt. When there's cars on the road
Right.
and and on a road that's not good for your horse's feet, well, it might be time for you to get a car. So Zoom is kind of like the the information highway, to use an old school term for the internet, is sort of like the new paved road on which we all must travel to get where we want to go.
Right. Right. Yeah, no, definitely. I can't disagree with that. Yeah, and the funny thing about it's still new, and then now we're approaching
Isn't
almost
that
a
just
year.
freaking nuts?
That's insane,
I
man.
can't
Like,
wait. I'm gonna have a little
I
party
mean,
for myself on March 16th. Will be the 1 year anniversary of the day they told me I was going back to work in 2 weeks.
yeah, and yeah, so it's still new, and like you said, people have to evolve and adapt to what's currently going on as far as virtual comedy, and who knows, yeah, I mean, the possibility is endless. I mean, things can improve, maybe, yeah, technology wise, Zoom wise, maybe there's, they're already working on something that we don't know. Maybe
Yeah, I
there's
mean,
something in the
Zoom
works. Who knows?
would I mean, personally, like I don't pay for a Zoom subscription right now, but if it were to be if they were to just change a little bit of their code to fix the sound issues so that it could be better used for comedy and not just for business meetings, oh,
Hmm.
now I'm like, I should really buy Zoom stock. That would have been
There you go.
good to do a year ago. It's just, I actually saw a
Right.
YouTube video. I forget the woman's name. Made a series of YouTube videos of her future self talking to her past, or her present self talking to her past self, and just saying, "Buy stock in Zoom." And her past self was like, "What? The video conferencing thing?"
Yeah. That's funny. So like, so you've been doing the Zoom and uh like we talked about. What are your, some of your favorite Zoom shows
Oh
with red
man,
mics out
so
there right now?
recently doing the shows with that fan has been a really cool experience. He runs just really professional shows with really great comedians, and I've really been enjoying doing those. Obviously, Blue Mic, all of the Rampantly mics that I've done, I pretty much every week do the Rampantly mics, the Blue Mic and the Red Mic. Those are just a ton of fun
Hmm.
with just a really like great tight community. But we always want new comedians there
Yeah.
too. Everybody's got such ADHD, like we still want new comedians, But so definitely those. I had a I also so comedy therapy, Broadway Comedy Club, that have teamed up uh and to launch, it's John Guild and Jim Mendrinos, to launch this online virtual comedy club for while there are no open comedy clubs, and the shows. Yeah,
The New
yes,
York
exactly.
Underground
So that
cast. Yeah.
doing
Yeah.
that festival, I met some people and just had a blast, and they ended up inviting me back to do another show, and I've been doing several shows with them, and they're just, I mean, they're awesome people, fun to work with, and it's given me an opportunity to do some longer sets, which is one thing I really want to work on, is forming like an hour with, I have,
Hmm.
I don't even know how many hours of material I have written because I just write constantly. But so that's something that is a personal goal for me right now, is to put, you know, a put a like a full length, um, special length kind of set together. So that's given me some
Hmm.
opportunities to, to really flesh out. And they have some mics too that have been great. And yeah, oh man, I could go on and on and on. I have yet to have like a really bad Zoom comedy experience. I think
Hmm.
at worst it's been mildly disappointing. I haven't had any, you know.
Hmm. Yeah. No, I hear you. Yeah. Yeah. No. Blue mic. You know what? I haven't even tried the red mic yet. But yeah, blue mic is always a
At
lot of
Blue
fun.
Mike also, and you should
Um.
totally go out for this. I'm not sure if you did the Big Blue Ball in the past, but it's like a Blue
Hmm.
Mike feature show that they do like I think it's like every 3 months now, or every 2 months. They've done three of them so far, and it's just a really really fun like blue material showcase, and it's audience choice. So like usually like,
Oh, is that
yeah,
the kind of like the
I mean, it's not
competition
so
one?
much of it's not like a competition so much as it's just like audience choice. Yeah, yeah.
They
So
vote for you, right? Yeah. No. Yeah, I did. I ended up doing one of them. I think October or November. I did
that's a lot of
end up
fun, and
doing one of
it's
them.
fun
Yeah.
just like going out for it, because that's when you get a big crowd. They start out with, there were like 60
Hmm.
comedians who tried out for the last one to get
Yeah,
to
I remember.
10.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's been that's been a fun one. And I'm really appreciating all of the very like just punk rock underground independent platforms that are coming up and shows that are coming up, and all of this DIY energy is really inspiring. And I wish I had
Yeah.
I wish I had that level of energy, but I really my true loves are just writing and performing, and I suck at organizations.
Hmm. Yeah. No, that's hey, that's what's up. We're gonna wrap it up in a few minutes here. Uh, but before we do, Danny, I asked these three questions on the show to all my guests. It's questions that it's like a fascination of mine. And it's no pressure. It's you can either answer one, two, or you can say,
I'm
oh man,
intrigued
Elvin, I
now.
don't want to answer that. That's corny. Whatever. but I'm gonna run down the three questions, and then you can give us your answer. So question one: aliens or Bigfoot? And just that's your answer can just be just anything in general. It is you're not it's whatever. And question two is if you weren't doing comedy, what would you be doing? And question three, what is your
Ooh.
go-to
All
food?
right. So, question number
Yeah.
1. Definitely aliens, because I mean, I don't know if I'll be around for it when it happens, but I'm counting on the Vulcans showing up eventually. It's gonna happen.
There you go.
uh,
There you go.
question number 2. Tell me question number 2 again. Was
Question two
Oh,
is
if I wasn't, yeah.
if you weren't
Uh,
doing comedy, yeah,
Possibly
what else
binge
would you be
drinking.
doing?
Hopefully not. Um, um, I mean, so kind of a two-pronged answer. So, like in life, what I would be doing if I wasn't doing comedy, I would probably
Hmm.
be doing something I should be doing anyway, which is writing the sequel to my first novel. um, and
Bam. Yeah.
I'd probably be doing that, and just kind of existing as I am now, but as much less of a happy person without comedy.
No, no. There you go. There you go. And question three:
Okay,
what
you
is
are
your
not
go-to
going to get
food? Uh,
anyone else giving you this answer.
let's see. Let's find out. Drum roll,
Okay,
please.
so
No.
it
Okay. What
is
is it?
pan-seared halibut with farro zucchini casserole.
Wow. You're right. Man, that's different.
Yeah,
Halibut, that's fish. So I'm familiar with fish.
I get
I love fish.
frozen
So
fish,
that's cool.
like
That's
because all
interesting.
the fish markets are closed and everything around. So I get I get fish delivered on dry ice. There's a company in Alaska, and yeah, I just I really try to eat I really try to eat healthy food, because I just get like I get really like angry, low blood sugar kind of like just so I do the
Mm.
whole just you know if I can't pronounce more than 3 of the ingredients in something, I probably shouldn't eat it kind of.
Well, there you have it. She
But the
did it. She
zucchini
did it.
casserole is
All
pretty
right.
amazing if you want the
Uh,
recipe.
uh, yeah.
It's mostly
Right.
cheese.
I gotta hit you up about that one. There you go. There you have it, y'all. Well, Danny, before we go, real quick,
Oh yeah.
where can they check
Yeah,
you out
definitely. So my
online?
book again is called Smile and Walk Away, and you can find that just where you buy books on the internet. All it's can be found. And tomorrow night and Friday night, I'm going to be on the All Star Comedy Show with the Comedy Therapy Broadway Comedy Club. So I'm really excited about that. I'm going to be on with some like super awesome people. And so those are at 8 o'clock tomorrow and Friday. And I'm also going to be on Dat Fan tomorrow. A couple of I forget what
Nice.
time, but it's after that. So and yeah, I have a website which is
Yeah.
just danielleriedel.com, DANIELLERIEDEL.com. And there's yeah, just links to where you can get my book, and then just social handles, Danielle.Riedel on Instagram, Danny Riedel on Facebook. And I am definitely not, I am definitely like just a year or two out of the generation that knows what Snapchat is, so that's about it.
Well, there it is, y'all. Make sure to go check out her book. Follow her on the different social media outlets. Yeah, support her, y'all. She's a comedian. She's a writer, and she loves halibut. Come on now. As far as my stuff, where's my damn podcast? Be sure to share, like, subscribe, review, all that good stuff. Just spread the word, man. That's all I'm asking y'all. That's thank you to all the people that's whoever's tuning in, wherever you at. But yeah, just share the podcast, spread the word. That's all I'm trying to do. Just spread some
Yes,
goodness out into the universe. So Danny, man, it was a pleasure having you on. I was glad that you were able to
me
spend
too.
some time
Yeah,
with us.
thank you so much for
Man,
having
that
me
was
on.
fun.
And Elvin, I just want to tell you that Where's My Damn Podcast is like one of the best podcast title names I've ever. I love it. Love it.
You know what? It's so funny that you brought that up because I didn't even think of the hidden meaning behind it. Um, and when I after I thought about it, I was like, oh shit, like it kind of coincides, kind of like me overall. So, but it wasn't intentional, It
I
was like,
love it.
oh, I'll just throw that out there. So yeah.
Thank you.
No. Thank you. Appreciate you. Hey, keep doing your thing. Definitely, I'll see you on one of these Zoom shows.
Definitely.
Either a DAT fan or a Blue Mic. But man, keep doing
Yeah,
your
I will
thing.
catch
I'll
you in
definitely
Zoomland.
talk to you soon. Yeah. Peace.